Hey guys, Off the Mic Sports Network here, another edition of Off the Top Rope. Very interesting way to start SmackDown on Friday night. Bianca Belair makes her return. Nothing really tangible happens. I think this was really just to get her back in her hometown. She did a really good job of cutting a promo in front of her hometown, in front of her family in Knoxville. Um, she had a brace on her hand. Her fingers are still broken, so she's still trying to heal. So she's not back yet. But this was to get her on television in a really advanced story. And I think it was honestly one of the best parts of SmackDown in itself because Naomi comes out, cuts an incredible promo, basically talking about, hey, I want your forgiveness. I went to your house. And it got really creepy. It was just like this really creepy stalker thing, which is really, helping Naomi and her gimmick. Um, Jade comes out, it doesn't really, we're still kind of planting the seeds there. Um, but this leads me into my big picture point. Naomi wins the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Listen, I understand the field is incredibly stacked for Money in the Bank. And as far as I'm concerned, God bless Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile's not winning the final qualifying match. It's going to be Stephanie Vaquera or Liv Morgan. I think it's going to be Stephanie Vaquera. I would not be shocked if it was Liv Morgan. Either way, you're looking at Stephanie Vaquera and Liv Morgan, one of those two, Rhea Ripley, Naomi, Julia, um, and you've obviously got Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez. Oh, sorry, there's six, it's hard to remember six people. That is an incredibly loaded six-person field, maybe the most loaded women's Money in the Bank of all time. And I'm here to tell you, and I've said this since the heel turn happened and it was officially finalized, Naomi is going to win Money in the Bank. She has to win Money in the Bank. She is the only person in this match, to me, from a storyline perspective, where it makes absolute perfect sense and it would add something to who won. I understand you can make the argument for Roxanne Perez or Julia or Stephanie Vaquer. They just got to the main roster. They do not need Money in the Bank right now. Roxanne Perez has got her whole career ahead of her. Stephanie Vaquer does not need Money in the Bank to get her over. Julia, maybe, but it seems really clear to me what they're doing with Julia. Julia's in there. It's a nice showing for her to be on the main roster and be in something important. She's clearly going after the Women's United States title. They teased that with Zelina Vega. So that's happening. Whether it's Liv Morgan or Stephanie Vaquer, Liv Morgan doesn't need Money in the Bank. She already won it. So, and Rhea Ripley damn sure ain't winning it. Sorry to all you people who are freaking out about this or you Rhea Ripley stands. Rhea doesn't need to win it. So I think I ran through most of the field. And if I miss somebody, I'm sorry, but it's just like Naomi, I have been saying this from jump, even though she lost at WrestleMania, Naomi's character work and even her wrestling, she's underrated as a wrestler. Naomi's been fantastic, man. And this promo, like, she generated real tears. Like, she deserved a freaking Emmy Oscar for all of the stuff that she has done in this division since she turned heel. And I think it just makes a world of sense to have her win. She's got history with Tiffany Stratton in that briefcase. Because remember, Tiffany's cash-in came in at the expense of Naomi, because Naomi was in a championship match with Nia, and Tiffany did the whole, swerve finish. And then it was like almost like a double swerve, like thought that she was going to cash in. Then she helped Nia win. Then she turned on Nia and then she won. So, listen, man, it's, to me, even as challenging of a field as this has been, and you could make a case for really any of these six women to win it, the strongest case is for Naomi to win this match. To me, she has to be the winner. She's got the best character. I understand that she may not be the most over or most popular person in this match, but that doesn't necessarily mean you need to win Money in the Bank. Rhea Ripley feels like everybody's going to naturally migrate to her because she's the biggest star in this match. That's not happening. If it's whether it's Stephanie or Liv, I don't think it matters. Stephanie, you can make a case because it would really, but Stephanie's over already. Stephanie's one of the most popular people, and she abruptly ended her NXT title run. She can get her feet wet. Roxanne Perez is going to get involved in something with Liv. They don't need to do something there, and she's incredibly young. Julia just got there. It's just like all the women in this match. It feels like Naomi is significantly, from a storyline perspective, it just makes way more sense for her to win this match out of anybody that is available on the board. So if they don't give it to Naomi, I think it's an incredibly missed opportunity because of all the women in this match who could benefit the most from the Money in the Bank briefcase, it is Naomi, and it is not close because all of the other women in this match have either an advantage in terms of them being over or they don't need the briefcase or they seemingly have another direction that they can go without the briefcase being Julia or I mean Alexa. You could make the case maybe for Alexa Bliss, and that's the one that I really didn't talk about and I was kind of just dancing through because listen, as over as Alexa Bliss is, she kind of falls into that Stephanie Vicaire category, and she's already got something, potentially with Charlotte off the grid a little bit. Even though Alexa, and the other thing is Alexa's won. Alexa's won. I don't think we're going to do a repeat winner here. I really don't think we're going to do a repeat winner. I do think it's going to be a first-time winner. And I said it from, the moment the heel turn started. Naomi, I feel like, is going to be the women's champion before the end of the year. And if you're going to get there, then I think the most sensible way to do it, especially with her being a heel, is to have Money in the Bank in her possession. Because she's been cracking down the door of being the women's champion a lot in the last 8 years since she held it back in 2017 when part of her glow gimmick. I just think that there's a lot of meat on the bone here. You could potentially explore something with Bianca as well because there's clearly something planned there, whether it's Bianca, whether it's Jade. You could have her cash in on Tiffany, and there would be a story there to that cash in as well. It just feels like it's so unbelievably obvious to me, despite how loaded this field is for the women's Money in the Bank, that it just feels like the most slam dunk obvious decision that you can make. And I was a little bit worried that they may go with Jade or Nia Jax in this situation, but they went with the right call, even if the finish was kind of botched. And now you've already kind of laid down the groundwork a little bit for, Bianca whenever she returns. And that could be interesting. And then you've obviously got Bianca and Jade still on the table. You still got stuff that's there. Like the SmackDown women's division has gotten a little bit better. Even, like I said, this show's not particularly good of late. But Naomi's one of the shining examples of what's been good about this show for really for most of the year since her heel turn. So I'm sorry to break it to some of you fans of some of the other 5 women in this match. To me, and I like this whole field. Whether it's Liv or Stephanie that gets in, because like I said, Ivy Nile's not qualifying for Money in the Bank. I'd be stunned if that was Naomi. Basically, Ivy Nile is there to take the pin. She is there to take the pin. That's what's happening. So, but yeah, like Rhea ain't winning, Alexa ain't winning, Roxanne ain't winning, Julia ain't winning, Stephanie or Liv ain't winning. Like that's it's just like. I could be wrong, but just the way I see it and the way I look at it and I go through the other 5 in this thing, there's only one winner, and you have to proceed with caution when it comes to her. That's her new catchphrase. She got away from the glow. She's talking about caution. Not only she's just spectacular. She's been spectacular this year. So that's my thought on that. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.